Hi there, wonderful people. Welcome back to Stories Down Under. For those who are new to our channel, my name is Fran and my beautiful friend here is Stella. We both work in finance and we're based in Australia. Our channel is all about sharing knowledge on different aspects of life, including finances, business, career, and social aspects of life. Today's topic is about superannuation, one of those areas that people tend to shy away from, mainly because of the complex structure of super, or that feeling of people not wanting to hear about future in the longest term possible. But again, the truth is super is the largest asset in Australia and there's a lot invested that if you look at very well, you should be able to retire very comfortably. So I'll let Stella start us up on the first point that we have today.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Fran. So today, as we said, we're going to be talking about super and we're going to touch on all areas, all questions that you may have. How do you save on tax using your super fund? How can you invest? How can you retire comfortably? How much do you need? Which is the best super to go with? So please stay tuned till the end. And the first one that I want to talk about is the different types of contributions. There are two main types of contributions. And the first one is concessional and non-concessional. So I will start by explaining concessional. Concessional is basically what your employer contributes towards your super. Every employer in Australia is required to contribute 11% as of this financial year towards each and every employee's super fund. So 11% of your monthly income or annual income, as long as it's 11% for every pay that you receive. So this particular amount is only taxed at 15%. So you could be on the highest tax bracket. Maybe your income is really high and you're taxed at 47%. However, with the super fund, because it's concessional, it's only taxed at 15%, and this is taxed within your super. I'll give you an example. If my employer contributes $1,000 towards my super, my account will only receive $850. My super fund account will only be remitted within the super $850 because $150 is the 15% taxation that my super fund has to remit to the government. So the other one is non-concessional. This is whereby maybe I receive my after-tax payment and I decide, well, why do I want to chuck maybe 1,000 into my super? Or even my husband might decide, well, you've been a good wife this month. I will boost your super with an extra 5,000. Because this money that is being contributed is after tax, is non-concessional, meaning that you cannot claim a deduction for it and it's not taxed, because if it's from your income, it's already been taxed in different ways. So to avoid double taxation, there's a non-concessional aspect that you can just contribute without claiming a deduction. So unfortunately, there is a cap, because this, as we said, the concessional is charged at 15%. Of course, the government doesn't want to lose out on tax, and hence it caps this amount per year, as of this year, to $27,500. So if your employer has already contributed maybe $10,000 and you want to boost this amount, you can still add more money into your super through the concessional aspect and claim a deduction. So if I decide to put in more money, maybe $1,000 or whatnot, you can claim a full deduction for this particular amount, as long as you do not go above the cap of $27,500. With a non-concessional, because we said non-concessional is after tax, there's no more tax that is going to be put, there's a higher cap. So you can contribute to about 110,000. So you can see it's already 4 times the concessional cap, because the government is not worried of losing on any taxation money, because this money is not taxed and it's after tax. So concessional, non-concessional. Concessional taxed at 15%, non-concessional is after tax and there's no amount of taxation that is going to be taxed within your super fund.
Thanks, Stella. You've broken it down very clearly, and the clarity around that is spot on. Thank you. The next thing you need to know about super is how super is taxed. There are various ways in which super is taxed. Number one is at entry point. This is whereby it is taxed on contribution. This is your own contribution as well as your employer's contribution. And this is taxed at 15%, which is a concessional rate. Also, super is taxed at investment, and this is also done at 15%. And then finally, super is taxed at exit. That is upon retirement when you pick your super, especially before reaching the preservation age, which is the required age for retirement, or before you get to 65 years. There is a way it's taxed depending on whether you pick it as a lump sum or you pick it as income stream. So my advice is that there's no point of withdrawing your super before attaining the retirement age. So the best thing is to just let it be because it's your nest egg to avoid unnecessary tax.
Absolutely. So Fran has mentioned during your earnings, during the investment. So most super funds will invest your money. So once you put money into your super, will invest your money in different ways. So a lot of them will buy equity, bonds, property, and this money is working for you. So as you said, the best way is to let it nest there until you hit retirement age.
Absolutely.
The other aspect we want to talk about is the insurance aspect of super. This I actually learned quite later on because each and every super fund has some insurance that is actually provided to the individuals. There are three main types of insurance in the different super funds, and the first one is the life cover, total permanent disability, and income protection. So now that we know there's already insurance within your super, we want to talk about how you can maximize this opportunity. So ideally, if you want to be able to take care of your dependents, and if you're married, if you have children, it's very important to think about what happens if I die? What happens if I become mentally incapable? What happens to my dependents? So that's why it's very important to use your super fund to boost your insurance. And how I went about it personally is that once I learned about the insurance aspect, I realized whatever my super fund had allocated as my insurance was too little because it doesn't want to take out a lot of money from your retirement fund into your insurance. So the best way is to give them a call and try to boost it. So I called my super, of course, and I identified myself and I told them that I wanted to increase my permanent disability and life cover to 10 times to 10 to 12 times ideally your annual income. So I'll give you an example. If your annual income is 70,000, I would advise you to call your super and increase your life cover and your total permanent disability to 10 to 12 times. So that's about 700,000 in your life insurance and total permanent disability. As for income protection, your super fund will only offer about 75% of income protection. How does this come to play? Life cover, of course, if you die. Total permanent disability, if you go crook, you can't work anymore, or you're really injured and you cannot do your daily activities, this will come to play. They will pay you a lump sum so that way you're able to live comfortably. The other one is, of course, one that a lot of people don't think about is income protection. And income protection is very important because sometimes you go through phases in life. Maybe you get a terminal illness, and you cannot work and you have to take a long time off work. This is where you're going to be paid at least 75% of your income, which will help you to continue living a comfortable life despite not being able to go to work. So I will say, please take this very seriously. Look into your super fund, go and see how much you're covered for, and if it's not 10 to 12 times your annual income, you need to increase that amount. And because you've increased this amount, remember this money is being taken off from your super fund. So in order to be able to still retire comfortably, you need to boost your super fund. And you can boost your super fund through salary sacrifice. So by your employer is going to contribute 11%, you can decide maybe you need to do an extra 5% contribution, which again is also taxed concessionally, so it will only be taxed at 15%. So basically you're saving a lot, especially if you're in a top tax bracket, and a lot of people pay more than 15% of tax. So basically you can do through this. You can do this through salary sacrifice. You can just do an extra 5% from your annual income to go into your super. Hence, you're able to retire comfortably as well as pay for your insurance cover.
Excellent. I really like that. The next thing that you need to know about super is how do you go about choosing your super fund? Most of us, especially migrants, ended up with default super, what we call plain vanilla, because they're really, really basic. They don't have much. But for people who are still, new and wanting to get the maximum out of their super, the most important thing is to go out and shop for your super. And when you're doing that, there are a number of things that you should look at. Number one is the fees. A lot of super funds have different fees that they charge on their investments or on entry or transactional costs. So these fees vary from admin fee, transactional cost, investment cost. But my reference will go to Scott Pape, the Barefoot Investor. He recommends that your super should not be charging you more than 0.85% of your total contribution. So it's important to look at the fees that these super funds charge. And the best way to check that is to look at the product disclosure statement. I know that is a full lot of information to digest, but it helps in the long run. The other thing that you should look at is the performance of your super. Normally, super is invested in different areas. For example, in stocks, in shares, in cash deposits, high interest rate cash deposits. And if you didn't know, you have control on how your super can be invested, and you can choose. And you can do your research, check how different super funds invest their funds, and choose which one goes well with your situation. The other thing that you should look at is the insurance that is on your super. And Stella has already delved into that. I'm not going to talk about that, but it should be a factor to consider when choosing your super fund. Also, you should look at the services that super fund offers, because some super funds offer financial planning services as well as other services that you may need to invest properly or to be in the right track onto your retirement. So yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know that they actually do offer financial services. So you can always book a consultation and see how you're tracking with your super fund based on how much you're earning at the moment, what is your age, and when do you want to retire. So you can be able to get these financial services within the super, which is absolutely amazing. So the other thing that a lot of people are probably hesitant with super is they wonder, when can I access this money? I've been contributing since I started working, so when can I access the money? Unfortunately, you have to meet a few conditions to be able to access your money. One of them is that you have to have heat preservation age, which is between 55 to 60 based on the year that you were born in. However, ideally, the best time to actually access your super is when you reach age 60 and you're retired, because otherwise you're going to be taxed. So if you've reached 60 and you've retired, this money is tax-free. So all the money within your super, all the contributions you've been making, you can be able to access it through two ways. You can either go through a lump sum, whereby you say, well, I want 250k paid into my account and this is going to be tax-free, or through an income stream, whereby you decide, well, I used to earn maybe 100k per year, I want to continue getting that as an income, 100k every year. So, and this is going to be tax-free as long as you've hit 60 and you're retired. There's also an option whereby I've seen a lot of people do, whereby they transition to retirement. So if you've hit the preservation age of about 55 years and you decide, well, I want to reduce my working days from 5 to 3, you can decide to just work for 3 days and boost your income for the 2 days that you're not working through your super. It's going to be taxed at 15%. However, you're able to transition slowly into retirement. Also, you can be able to access your super fund if you're in very hard financial hardships. So if you're experiencing financial hardships, or you get a terminal illness, you can also be able to access your super. So it's worth actually being able to reach out to your super if that could be the case for you. However, remember, this is a lifelong investment. It's going to take care of you when you retire. People are living now to at least 85,
Of course,
you know,
even 90,
even
or
90,
100, you know.
100. So you don't want to be at 100 and still someone is in charge of your time telling you when to clock in and clock off. Yeah, so basically that's when you can actually access your money.
Nice one, Stella. The next thing is, how much super do you need to retire comfortably? A lot of people do ask that, how much money do I need in my super to retire comfortably?
Yeah.
And it is, I mean, there's not a definite amount of money. It's hard to really tell because of inflation. At the moment, generally, a loaf of bread is $3, but in the next 10 years, we're not sure if it will be $10. Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's estimated that if you've fully paid your house and you're single, you need about $545,000 a year in your super to retire comfortably. Also, if you are a couple and you've got a fully paid house, you'll need about $640,000 to retire comfortably.
Wow.
But what is a comfortable life? People do ask, what is a comfortable life? According to the Association of Superfund Australia, a comfortable life is being able to afford at least one holiday in Australia a year, being able to eat in a restaurant if you'd like
important.
to go out once or twice a week,
Yeah.
being able to afford private cover, also being able to do renovations like changing your kitchens or bathrooms after every 20 years, being able to pay for activities like exercising, going to the gym, things like that. So this is just but a list of a few, and that is what they deem as comfortable life.
Oh, very well explained. I definitely want to be able to go out and eat in restaurants.
Oh, remember, one bottle is also included, one bottle of wine, so that comes as a package.
Yeah, and also to afford my wine. So yeah, guys, so I hope that was clear, crystal. If you have any questions regarding super, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. Tell us what you learned, and if you really enjoyed our content, please do like, share, comment. You know, tell us where you're watching from, because that really goes a long way into supporting our little channel. Thank you for always coming back, and we hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.